Howdy folks, and welcome back to Uncharted 4 with the mighty Jingles, where in the last episode I left you on a low down, dirty, rotten, completely arbitrary cliffhanger. I'd like to take this moment to tell you all how sorry I am about that, but of course you all know I'd just be lying. So instead, we're just going to continue from where we left off.
What? Could be a trap.
You're already in there. What's the worst that could happen?
I lose my hand?
So we'll get you a nice hook. Give it a pull.
Nice hook. All right, here we go.
Really?
Hello, hello.
It's pretty interesting decor.
For those who prove worthy, paradise awaits. To those who prove false, behold your grim fate.
Yeah, well, I guess Avery was a better pirate than a poet.
This isn't Avery's.
What do you mean?
Look,
It's the Rhode Island pirate.
Thomas too.
Yeah, but it can't be him. I mean, this is clearly his sigil, but two died attacking the same treasure fleet as Avery.
Yeah, well, at least that's what the stories tell us.
If this really is Two's mark, then that means he's involved in all of this. How?
It's a damn good question. So who do you think these guys are?
Those who prove false, I guess. I think Avery or Thomas too were just trying to scare us.
Good thing we're jaded treasure hunters.
Good thing.
Thomas II, the Rhode Island pirate, another famous pirate also, supposed to have died in September 1695 along with Henry Avery. In 1691, Tew moved from Newport, Rhode Island to Bermuda, where in 1692 he obtained a letter of marque from the governor of Bermuda authorising him to act as a privateer against the French. What's the difference between a privateer and a pirate? Well, that depends entirely upon whose side you are. Because privateers were mostly legalised pirates, hired by one side to attack the shipping or pillage the property of another. So whether you're a pirate or a privateer usually depends upon who's doing the asking.
That bridge looks about as safe as the others.
It's held up this long.
Famous last words.
It's okay, it's holding. Come on.
These bridges are clearly not built to code.
Sure they are. The pirate code.
Ha ha ha! Not bad.
For example, Sir Francis Drake was an English privateer, although he was considered a pirate by the Spanish.
I still have rocks in my shoes from the last 10 slides.
The Spanish would almost certainly have had him hanged as a pirate
Okay.
if they'd ever been good enough to stop him.
Whew. I'm a pro at this by now.
So, did Two build this place with Avery? I can't make sense of it.
Neither can I. I mean, if Avery's trying to hide his treasure, why involve another pirate?
Maybe he saw him as a part of his crew. Maybe he sent him one of those St. Dismas crosses.
Yeah, maybe Two took all the treasure for himself.
Please don't say that.
Well, we're gonna find out soon enough.
He wasn't the first, and he certainly wouldn't be the last privateer to turn to a life of piracy. In fact, ironically enough, the man commissioned to hunt him down and bring him to justice, Captain William Kidd, ended up being hanged for piracy himself.
No.
Nice one, Sam.
Well, we're not going back that way.
At least we didn't get dropped in a pit or something.
My spider senses are tingling. I detect a puzzle ahead.
This is elaborate.
You could say that. Found another switch.
Careful.
Yeah, it looks a bit spiky.
I'm just gonna take the hand out. Whoa.
Jesus. It's a pretty elaborate test. Trial? This guy clearly failed. Then let's do better.
Yeah, let's not screw this one up.
There's something on the bottom there.
It's a bucket.
Huh. Okay. Now what?
Fill it up and put it back, I suppose. I mean, it makes sense. Luckily, there's a handy pool of water down here. Extremely cold water. Almost as if it was put here for exactly this purpose.
Ah! Whew. Bucket filled.
All right, pass it up to me. Put it back in that big wheel thingy.
Alright, let's see what these wheels do. Okay, I think I see what's going on here.
Something with the 3 crosses?
Yeah. I'm guessing we're looking at Jesus, our good thief Dismas, and the jerk thief Gestus.
I'm gonna figure the white cross is Dismas.
So the black one is Gestus. There we go. Hey, Sam. Was Dismas to the left of Jesus?
Well, are you looking at them from the front or the back?
The front.
Then, yeah, he was on the left.
Okay, that's what I've got.
Alright, it seems pretty straightforward. It's only complicated by the fact that if you turn... Yeah, they're interlocking. So turning one is going to affect the others. So we want Jesus in the middle, Dismas on the left, Gestus on the right. So Jesus is the big white cross, Dismas is the small white cross, and Gestus is the black small cross. And they clearly have to be not just in the right orientation, but also in the spots that are illuminated by the shafts of light. Okay, so figure out which one moves which first. So that'll put Jesus in the middle, which is where he needs to be. But we've got the bucket in the spot where Gestus is supposed to be. So this one should move the circle on the right. Yes, it does, but that's moved Jesus out of the spot where we want him. Oh no, we've got Gestus in the spot where we want him. So, alright, let's think about this. If we move it back to there, then we can move the centre bottom one to get the bucket out of the way. Yep. And now this one should be able to move without interfering with anything else. Actually, no, that was right. Jesus in the middle. Let's put it back. Oh, wait a minute. There's a fourth illuminated spot at the top. That's in the middle, but surely Jesus needs to be next to the other 2 crosses. Right there. See, now I can move Dismas. But that's moving Jesus as well. So that's where Dismas needs to be. But can I now move the top one? Yep. Without affecting Dismas. And I should now be able to move Gestus, this one, without affecting Jesus. Ah, alright, not quite. Although, hang on a minute. If I move Gestus down to the spot where he's supposed to be, isn't that going to put Jesus up top? And then I can move the top one, which shouldn't affect the other 2, and just flip Jesus around. Nope, 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 wrong one, wrong one. Back to the way it was. Next one over. I should do the top circle alone. Yep, and it's not affecting the position of the other 2 crosses.
Think that's it?
You could try pulling the switch.
I could.
Yeah, or you could try pulling the switch.
Nathan, you sure you got this?
I was.
I was.
I was until you opened your mouth. Let's take another look. I'm not sure about that one at the top, you know. Oh, what's the worst that could happen? And...
Oh, crap!
Oh, nearly. I think it gave me that one for free.
Crosses are all definitely in the right place. But I'm guessing the bucket is not.
Yeah.
There's the light at the top up there.
Yeah. Yeah, the bucket. Clearly the bucket has to be in that illuminated spot at the top. So how are we going to get the bucket all the way up there without screwing everything else up? Well, I suppose the short answer is we're not. So we're going to have to screw everything up, get the bucket up there, and then unscrew everything to get them back the way they were. Okay, right. Let's start by getting the bucket out of the way. Hint. Bring the crosses into the light. No, you think? Thanks for that. I'd never have figured that one out by myself. Alright. Now the bucket's out of the way. We can leave that.
Oh. Move when you put the bucket on top. There's a channel running from the mechanism to the door. Okay, so bucket on top is good.
Maybe that's what disarms the
Keep
trap.
it there.
Anyway, now to get the crosses back in the right order. Easy.
That's gotta
Done.
be it. Let's find out.
Let's? So you're gonna pull the switch?
Oh, no. I'd hate to deprive you of that privilege.
Cheers,
course.
Sam. I'm pretty sure we've got it this time, though. Fingers crossed. And... not dead yet. Hey, we're going to live.
Nathan, look. I think you got it.
All right, see?
No shishkinates, no naked kebabs today. So, if that was a test, what do you suppose it was testing exactly? Filling a bucket?
I had to know about St. Dismas, whom I bet Avery and all of his crew were intimately familiar with.
Not that hard of a test.
Maybe it's not the only one.
Oh, that's a comforting thought. Maybe it's not even the easiest one. Man, they did some tunneling and building down here, didn't they? Not bad for a bunch of pirates. Wouldn't have thought there'd be that many stonemasons amongst them. You know what I mean? Carpenters, yeah, sure. Stonemasons, not so much. And yet, clearly, based on the evidence, in front of our very eyes, who would have guessed that so many stonemasons took up a life of piracy? Wouldn't have thought there was that much call for it at sea, but hey, you know, I only spent 22 years riding the ocean waves, what would I know about it? Although, technically, we do have stone frigates in the Royal Navy, but that's just a fancy term for a naval base, so... the point stands. Right, now where are we going? I think I have to jump. Yep. You can see the handholds. Oh, hang on a minute. What's going on here?
Hold on. What? Listen.
Anything noteworthy by the dormitories?
Not unless
Wow,
you count some
the South
cleverly
African
worded
accent
head
actually got
spells.
better overnight.
Have you finished digging by the chapter house?
We have, ma'am.
Alright, not that much
Northwest
better.
side's
Suddenly
wide
she
open
sounds
as well.
Australian.
And what about the southern perimeter?
Not yet. It'll take us a day to move the crane over there.
Nadine,
Make it happen. In the meantime, see what you can dig up without it.
I'll send a couple of men over right away.
Good. Rafe, any luck with those manuscripts?
can we have a minute?
Keep me updated.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you hear? They found a whole annexed area under the cathedral.
I did. Have you seen it?
No? Why?
Because there wasn't much left after they'd finished finding it.
My men have been a bit liberal with the
They're like
dynamite.
100 well-armed bulls in a china shop.
But they've made more progress in 2 days than we've made in months.
Progress. I can't analyze rubble.
Okay.
Oh, camera spazzed out for a bit there.
I'll let them know they need to give you a heads up before they do anything drastic.
Or you can tell them to sit tight until I analyze the few clues that haven't been blown up.
No, we can't sit around waiting any longer.
All due respect, I think I have a bit more experience with this sort of thing than you do.
We tried things your way.
Bullshit. You've been wanting to level this place ever since we got here.
No! I wanted to steal that cross long before it ever even made it to that auction. The same auction where I couldn't have my men around to deal with any surprises.
The auction was the cleanest way
But
to get the
instead
cross.
of going with my gut, I listened to you. And now we have competition.
Oh, well, I didn't think he'd show up.
And suddenly she's South African
Or
again.
maybe you wanted to draw him out.
Why the hell would I do that?
Because you think you need him. And maybe you do. Point is, I'm done trying to do things the clean way. If the treasure is here, we'll find it. And if not, well... maybe it's time to move on, huh? Hey. It's not personal.
Of course.
I'll let you know if anything turns up.
Let's get moving before they blow that treasure to bits.
Stop making out. Wait. You think she was right, though?
But what?
About Rafe wanting to draw you out.
As long as he doesn't get the upper hand, who cares? Doesn't matter.
You probably won't be too surprised to learn that the internet lost its shit when it was discovered that the voice actress, Laura Bailey, who plays the black South African character Nadine Ross that we just saw, hails from Biloxi, Mississippi. And she's about as black as Cersei Lannister. And apparently the internet didn't understand that it's an actor's job to pretend to be something that they're not. For the record, I think that Laura Bailey does do a very good job of portraying emotion with the Nadine Ross character. You may even have heard her more recently in Gears of War 5, or Gears 5 as all the hipster kids are calling it. But I can't help but feel that her performance would have been a little better if they'd bothered to hire her an accent coach. And if they did hire her an accent coach, perhaps she should have paid slightly more attention to them. What would you know about it, Jingles, you pommy bastard? Well, I did live in South Africa for 4 years. Well, okay, not technically true. I lived in South Africa for 1 year, and then I went to boarding school in South Africa for 3 years, so I'm calling it 4 years. I know what a South African accent is supposed to sound like. Funnily enough, the internet did not lose its shit over the fact that one of the white characters in the game is portrayed by a black voice actor. Which one? Well, that's the point. You can't tell, can you? Because they did such a good job. Surely that's what's important. Call me a bluff old traditionalist if you must, but I prefer to judge actors based on the strength of their performances rather than the colour of their skin. I know. It'll never catch on.
A little too high to jump up there unless you got a trampoline.
Left it in my backyard.
Oh, darn. Wait, do you have a trampoline?
I wish.
This puzzle is actually quite fiendishly tricky. It involves an element of backtracking. You see, you need a crate, that crate up there, in order to give you the height that you need to progress. But how do you get up there to get the crate? There's nothing you can grapple onto, there are no handholds. That down there, that's where you need to be. So to get to there, you're going to have to swing across from the grapple that you used to get here in the first place. The trick, of course, is that there's a very, very narrow crack in the rocks that you have to line up with in order to get the leverage that you need to swing across. And then from here, it's a pretty simple case of jumping across, climbing up.
Hang on. Oh, look at you. One crate
Tipping the
coming
crate
up.
over.
Thank you, good sir.
And then using it to move on to the next puzzle. Come on, Sam, catch up.
Jesus. Well, we're definitely getting closer to the cathedral. Or what's left of it. Gotta say, this is far more sophisticated than I was expecting. Me too. Must have taken years to build. Spared no expense to hide 400 million bucks.
Right. Well, I'm not jumping over that. But there is a crate up there.
Bridge is out. Gotta find another way across. Here goes nothing.
This, by the way, should have broken every bone in my rib cage. Not to mention my chin and my knees,
Good
but
thing you're not heavier than the crate.
hooray for video game physics.
Okay. Made it. What's the plan? I'm working on it.
Come on, Nate, it's not that hard. Move the crate. Well, actually, it's not as straightforward as it might first appear. Rather than using the crate in the way that we've become used to, moving the crate and then using the crate to stand on in order to get to another bit, we're going to use the crate as a mobile grappling point.
Who needs bridges? Oh, no, I wouldn't mind bridges, per se. Well, can't go through there. So how do we get through?
Good question. Aha. Oh, there's no other way through.
Over here.
Oh,
This place
bit.
wasn't completely falling apart. We'd probably be trapped again.
Yeah.
Nathan, look around you. Holy crap. This must have been another test, but it all just crumbled into the ocean. Well, I guess the test now is... how the hell do we get to the other side?
So this was another one of Avery, or perhaps Tu's, tests. The problem is that the test has crumbled away into the ocean over the course of time. So now we need to figure out a way to pass the test without actually passing the test, since the test is completely and utterly bollocksed. So, we're going to drop down here. Ooh, what's this?
What's this?
That's what I said, Nate. Some kind of note. Let's give it a read. Let it be known that I, Thomas Howard, Captain of the Dauntless, am a gullible fool. It started with a cross, a cryptic message from my old compatriot with the vague promise of paradise. I was sceptical, but the thought of living the remainder of my days at home, wondering what might have been, was too much to bear, and one does not ignore a letter from the King of Pirates. I survived being marooned off the coast of Madagascar, I survived the attack of the East Indiaman Pembroke, but I will not survive this. My leg is broken and my crew too cowardly to... Yeah, so basically this is somebody that tried to complete the test and failed and died here. It doesn't really help us, because the test's broken anyway. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's me trying to jump onto the beam. Yeah, don't do that, Jingles. Just you know, casually walk across, nice and simple.
That really safe-looking wooden seesaw thing might do the trick.
Worth a shot.
Yeah, that nice, safe-looking wooden seesaw thing. I've come across similar puzzles like this
Here
in other
goes
games.
nothing.
Yeah, like we said, this one's broken. I've seen similar things in games like Prince of Persia. You have to weigh it down at one end enough that you can make the jump at the other. Fairly simple, yeah? Question is, where are we going to get the weight?
I'll weigh
Sam,
it down.
would
Go.
you care to make yourself useful for a change? Thank you, Sam. The problem is that even Sam's weight isn't enough. It's enough for me to get across, but not to where I need to be. but I can make it to here.
All right.
And from here, I can grapple to that.
Right.
As you can tell,
Let me look around. Cool. I'll just hang out
by
here.
Sam's plaintive whining, he's now stuck back where I was when we started. So where do we go from here? Well, on the wall opposite, there looks like something I can grab onto. So let's just extend the line, get a bit of leverage. Swing across.
Check out all that
Oh,
machinery.
climb up, climb up, climb up, and up the handle.
Appreciate everything that goes into making crap. Don't be glib. Any luck? Yeah, give me a sec.
And oh look, another extremely heavy
Okay, I
crate.
found something to weigh down the seesaw.
So we push this over to the handily positioned ledge, and you probably figured this out from here on in. We drop that down, and
Heavier
hopefully
than I am.
not missing the seesaw. That weighs it down on this end, and then we can
Yeah.
both get across to the other side.
There we go.
In theory. You know, providing nothing else goes
Hey,
wrong.
nice airtime. Well, if treasure hunting doesn't work out, we... Oh, crap!
Yeah, I just had to go and open my big mouth again, didn't I?
There, thanks. There's another test down. Yeah, at this point, I'd rather take another death trap. At this point, I hope we're at the end of this.
Well, the good news is you're both going to get your wish, because we are near the end of this thing, but there are plenty more death traps to come.
Okay, getting a bit dramatic with the statues here.
And all of that to come in the next video. I hope you've enjoyed this one, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.